I took a gummy last night, and it was nice at the time, but you know, the thing about not living alone is that you get roped into things that you don't want to have to do. So, like, I couldn't make a nice dinner like I normally would after, like I normally would when I'm high. Then I ended up having to watch my little brother, and this morning, like, I feel like I could have had a nice relaxing morning, but I woke up to my mom like playing a random song in the doorway and like shining a light in my face like she would when I was fucking in high school. So I just wish I didn't have to go to work, man. I love not working. Hello. We're outside. We're at the park. I've been thinking a lot about contentment. I think it was a few months ago, or maybe even last year, I was doing a lot of work with contentment and just really trying to accept the place that I am in my life. And I've been thinking about that a lot more, and I want to read you guys something that I wrote in my journal a few days ago. I feel like the mental health culture right now is that of always working towards something. There's always more you can do. Work through the trauma. Keep trying to do better. Quit being so hard on yourself. You hear progress is not linear often. I forget that it also applies to mental health. You have negative and positive days, days where you have a breakthrough, and days where you just exist. Every day doesn't have to be groundbreaking. You have no idea how much just existing some days can improve your mental health and a sense of contentment subconsciously. Like today, I was planning on getting up at like 7 and coming to the park and going for a walk and like doing a bunch of shit. And I ended up staying in the bed until now. I didn't leave the house until like 2. And like, I'm having to relearn the fact that that's okay, because I feel like I got to a good point with that like anti-productiveness a few months ago / last year, and I forgot that you're fucking allowed to do nothing if your body is tired. You can take things at your own pace. You can work on different things on different days. Like, I don't know. Maybe one day is a do-nothing day, and the next day is a productive day, or whatever the fuck, you know? It doesn't have to be so rigid, and I am hard on myself a lot. I'm trying not to be, so... gonna be like, but Ken, you said in the last video that you weren't gonna be smoking anymore, you thought. Yes, I thought. Okay. I realized that life without weed is a lot more palpable if you don't have a job. Just if you're neurodivergent, or I'll just say, like, for me, it takes like 3 or 4 hours for like my nervous system to be calm after working a shift, and just that's just not conducive to me and the things that I want to get done in any given day. Just personally, weed helps my body come back to the equilibrium way faster than it would without. So, I'm smoking a baby joint in hopes that I can calm the fuck down. I just get so... It's really hard for me to explain. I just get so, like, there's just so much pent-up energy in my body, and I feel like whenever I smoke weed, even if it's just a little bit, it, like, dissolves outside of my physical, if that makes any sense. I don't know if you guys are spiritual in any way, but that's how I think about it. Like, my energy just kind of disperses into other parts of the universe, I guess, the pent-up energy. But anyway, we've not smoked in the car in a long time. Yeah, I'm just feeling the effects of having a job again. I know, it just neurodivergency, man. Just neurodivergent. So yeah, when I start getting consistent paychecks again, honestly, I think I will, like, have to keep some flour around, just because, like, it's not conducive to mine or really anyone's schedule to have to take like 2 to 4 hours of literally like sensory deprivation tank to feel all right again. Okay, for as long as my phone will let me record, I'm just gonna speak about the feeling of contentment. Holy fuck, that is so loud. Just like the feeling of contentment in capitalism, and like how I have been, kind of thinking about the 8 limbs of yoga and thinking about how I've been thinking about the limbs of yoga in order to adapt it to the Western world. I think for so many people, myself included, it's really, the concept of contentment is really difficult. Because it's like, how can I be content if I am living paycheck to paycheck, or live in shitty housing, or am in a depressive episode, or even a manic episode, or you know what I mean? It's hard to sit in that and say that you're content with it. That's something I've been thinking about a lot. And in my opinion, it takes a very deeply spiritual person and someone who has actively and intentionally worked on their trauma, i.e. shadow work, to be able to do that. You cannot ask the average depressed person who has not had a break from being depressed enough to even think about their traumas or their samsara or what have you, to sit and say that they understand the place that they're in. They understand that it's going to give way to something better. I fall off of my spirituality often when I get depressed because those feelings of past kin, little kin, of just feeling like it's never ending and feeling like there is no end goal or no end goodness in sight. All of those feelings just come rushing back a lot of the time, and it's hard. It's hard and it feels weird, but you have to say, this fucking sucks. It fucking sucks, but I have to sit here and sit with this and make myself as comfortable through this feeling as I possibly can, because this is going to give way to a balance. And if your side of the balance that you're feeling right now is bad, it's always going to come later and make it worth it. It's just hard to remind yourself. But like, what I mean by that is, like, when I'm depressed, I don't fight it. At this point in my life, I don't fight it. I don't try to say, how can I make myself feel better? How can I, try to get out of this? It's now, how can I guide and coax myself through this like a little kid, like a baby? And for me, that looks like embracing the fact that I don't want to do anything but lay in the bed. Make it as comfy as possible. If you can, like, grab snacks or water, if you have the ability to just like quickly grab snacks or water before you return back to your bed, or like sitting yourself up in bed and like, make yourself a little corner with pillows and get a nice comfy blanket. Personally, I also will like bring a book or a journal, not because I think I'm going to be able to use them, but just looking at them and having them there. I don't have any scientific basis for this, but it makes me, like, just gradually every day, I'm like, that book is looking pretty interesting. Like, it keeps showing up on my bed. Like, who's putting it there? You know what I mean? And so just small ways like that to hold yourself and really coax yourself and let it happen. Let it happen. I feel like it's a fine line between accepting the circumstances of being depressed and really, really, I guess, like, begrudgingly going through it. I relate to that so much. But if you just really, really intentionally try to change your perspective and see it as, my body needs this time to rest. And there might be people watching that are like, bitch, it's depression. Like, it's a chemical imbalance. Like, my body doesn't just need to rest. And I'm not. Look, I suffer from depression. Okay, depressive episodes. I completely get that. Personally, for me, as an unmedicated person who has had access to therapy maybe a year out of their entire life, that shit helps me. I'm like, oh fuck, my brain and my body, my physical self really needs to rest right now. So, like, I'm gonna make them as comfy as possible, and I'm gonna let them watch their comfort movies, and they don't have to go hang out with their friends. They don't have, you know what I'm saying? Make yourself comfy through it, because the shit's gonna happen. The bad shit's gonna happen. I feel like the further you are in your spiritual journey and the further amount of introspection you've done, the further you've worked through your trauma, and it doesn't matter how quickly you do that, right? But I think the more you do those things, the more you let yourself be open to doing those things, the more the window's open, you know? And the bad shit will start to seem not as bad, not as soul-sucking as it used to be. And the feelings of good will start to outweigh the feelings of bad. And I think at a certain point, like, you can get past that. That's just called samadhi. That is enlightenment, okay? That's what we're all working towards. I'm trying to get to my soul, you know? I tell people my purpose in life, and I say, like, I think it's to care for people, or I think it's to teach yoga, or whatever. But really, the answer that I want to give is to find out what your soul needs, to find out how to expand your soul. I think human life is put here for us to find our truths. And oh my god, I lost my train of thought. I just think that's what the human body is for. We live this experience. I almost think that it's like a maze game out of physical existence. Like, you have to get through this series of challenges, and once you realize, like, once you learn all of these little trivial human lessons, you know, you get to assimilate back into everything. And I just kind of think it's our soul's way of just like playing a silly little game, almost. Oh my god, we just exist all the time. What would happen if we utilize this form, this physical existence that we know can happen on this planet over there? And it's like a maze. I don't know. I'm high. Alright, so I'm gonna go home so I can get cozy, just like I was saying. Faster than the speed of light. Turbo. Hope you're ready, I'll be going turbo. Traveling through space and time. Turbo. Tripping on an ocean, running through the stars that shine for us. Girl, I know you're broken. I know you want to love me, but there's no trust. Today I have picked up Memberberry. It's a 19% THC, 0.03% CBD. I don't know what terpenes are in it because I didn't look it up before I bought it. I just know that I like it and I've used it before. I was on dish for most of my shift, and then for the last like 2 hours I had to close the kitchen. So I'm feeling really miserable, like miserable to the point where I went to yoga the class started around 2 hours ago, and yoga didn't even help. I still feel just as miserable, and it's in moments like these that I remember some people are medicated. I would love to stop smoking cigarettes because my yoga teacher today was like, there's like 200 chemicals in cigarettes, and I was sitting there like, ah! I don't want to smoke them, okay? I'm just an alcoholic and also have not been smoking weed, and so it's like, anyways, I'm really bothered with capitalism. And I'm so tired.
Tonight, I'm feeling kinda nauseous. Hold tight, take me to a place where we can dance slow. It never rested and inside my head though. It's a bad time. There's voices in your head that mess with your mind. Come on, baby, what's the move? Tell me what I gotta do. Show me how I gotta prove.
I'm not gonna show you because Rose said it looks gross, but for lunch.
I didn't say it looks. Yeah, I did.
Something vegetarian. It's the closest I can get, okay? It's veggie sausage with an egg and tomato and avocado. I didn't really want it, but I did want like a sausage, egg, and cheese, and so I got this instead. Good morning, guys. I'm feeling weird. I hope my cats aren't a distraction. I just thought this would be a cool shot. I'm feeling depressed, man. I just am really lacking a sense of independence right now. And I'm not feeling as independent as I would like to, or as I feel in my head, I suppose, and that is a lot for me. Like, I don't know. I like getting up at 7:30 in the morning and not having to like tell anyone where I am or what I'm doing, and just like going to run my errands and whatever. And I like miss smoking in my room. I miss having my own space, my own kitchen. There's just a lot of things that are making me feel constrained right now, as well as being so tired from work. I'm just feeling some type of way. I also haven't showered in maybe like 4 days, which is not that bad. But if you consider the fact that it has been sweltering in the south, like 100+ degrees every day in a humid way. I'm not talking Arizona, okay? I know what an Arizona summer is like. That's not what I'm talking about right now. It's kind of bad. I won't lie. It's very frustrating. Yeah, I'm just being real. I am just not in a good mood. I got home last night, or it wasn't even night, it was like around 6:30 or 7, and I just cried. I just cried a whole lot. And then I watched Degrassi. I'm on season 11. Can we talk about how solid season 11 of Degrassi TNG is? Because like, it's unironically so good. the writing is like, I don't know, the writer's locked in for this season. Because season 10 was like, I know it was called The Boiling Point and it was supposed to be big, but it was just kind of soapy, you know? And then I feel like seasons 9 and 8 were just very, we'll say 9, 8, and 7, honestly, were just very lackluster to me. I think seasons like 3, 4, 5, 6, they found a good writing stride. 1 and 2 were still a little wonky. And season 12 is quite good. 13 and 14 make me crave death. The next class is entertaining, but the writing is still really bad. I don't know why I'm talking about Degrassi now. I've been smoking weed again. It would be like really helpful if I had the motivation to do anything and also had my own space ever, wasn't confined to my room all of the time. I hate being confined to my room. Anyway, Ken complains for 4 minutes straight. I'm feeling crazy. So I came out to my usual spot in the woods at that bench that I'm usually at, and I didn't fucking bring my lighter. Brought my goddamn cigarettes, but no lighter. Also, I was coming out here to smoke weed, not the cigarettes. But my point is that I remembered the cigarettes, which I don't fucking need, and didn't get a lighter, which is... Forget being in the woods. Honestly, I don't feel like going back out there. I would just love to smoke the rest of this joint right now.